The Type 5 Heavy has two guns that you can mount on the tank. I'm going to show you on the tech tree. You see that it's a tier 10. You've got two guns to choose from. One of them does more damage, and the other one has higher penetration. I argue that the best overall gun is the second gun, the one that has the higher penetration. I'm going to show you why for most players. Now, the reason why, we're going to look at both of these guns. I'm going to click over here. You see where it says, for the first gun, it says average damage, it says 770, and underneath it says 70. That is the high explosive rounds, the cheap ones. And if you look at the second gun, it does 900 damage with 75 penetration. So the second gun does 5 penetration more with cheap HE rounds, and the second gun does 130 damage more. So for HE rounds, the second gun is clearly superior. However, only 5 more for penetration, 130 more for damage. If you want to use the premium rounds, you get 192 penetration, 900 damage. But if you use the regular rounds on the first gun, you get 257 penetration with 600 damage. So you get 50% more penetration for 30% less damage. And if you use the premium round, you also get substantially more penetration. So what happens is, if you use the top gun, you can use the HE rounds for 70 penetration, still do a lot of damage, or you could use the regular AP round, high penetration, and do a decent amount of damage. With the second gun, you have to pay more to do more damage, and you might not penetrate. 192 penetration would be low for a tier 8 tank. So be aware of that. Unless you really know how to aim, you're often not going to be able to do a lot of damage. I'm going to test out both guns. So with the top gun, you've got the best of both worlds. You got pretty good for HE, pretty good for AP, and you pay a low price. With the second gun, you've got good for HE, but you got to spend a lot more money and you don't get that much more unless you're a really high skilled player. So that's why I decided to go with the second gun. I started out with the first gun, and I decided I'm not really having good games. I sit here and I wait a long time to reload, and when I hit them, I was doing 300 damage because I wasn't penetrating. I was using the regular rounds, the 75, and they were hitting me for like 600 damage or 1,000 damage. So at some point I said enough of that, and I moved on to this other gun. So that's one of the things you want to consider when you play this vehicle.